Hi, Thomas. When I'm at customer side, I often hear that it's very hard to handle all these shortcuts like MDR, NDR, and so on. Would you please tell us about these shortcuts? Can you please tell us a little bit more?
Sure. I mean, it's important to know them because they can mean something totally different at the end. So let's see. We created a small cheat sheet which you can use. First of all, we start with EDR. EDR is really the evolution of the traditional virus scan. It's endpoint focused. It's analyzing the behavior on an endpoint. That's mainly what it's doing, and it's just a tool. Then we have NDR. NDR is doing the same. It analyzes behavior in the network. Also there, it's a name or an abbreviation for a tool. Then we have the term XDR. XDR is the Extended Detection and Response tool. Often that are suites. For example, on Microsoft side, it's the Microsoft Defender XDR suite. Another thing what I often see is also the term SIEM. Customers are using it, and it's a tool which is most often a little bit higher in the architecture than an XDR tool because it allows also to ingest custom logs, so third-party sources. It also has most often parts to automate the whole security incident management. So SOAR is then another term which comes into play in these. So that are the main tools, and just having a look on that, how it looks on Microsoft side. Here we see a good example of how Microsoft has built the products around XDR. You see they are covering the whole attack kill chain. We see it from the entrance door, which is Defender for Office. There we monitor emails which are coming in, Teams messages which are coming in, URLs in the messages, for example. Then we see the Defender for Endpoint part, which is EDR related. We see Defender for IoT, which is more focused on IoT devices. And then it continues to the identity part, unless to the really domain part, which is where your crown jewel at the end. So it really covers the whole stack. And on the bottom you see also Microsoft Sentinel, which is the SIEM. So it can then be combined together at the end. We also see Defender for Cloud Apps, which helps you to monitor SaaS solutions which are in your environment. So it's really a complete XDR platform.
So thank you very much for these insights. That's very interesting. So could you please go a little bit deeper in these different solutions?
Yes, for sure. There are other parts which I have not yet explained. That's, for example, MDR. That's also a term I hear often from customer. It's at the end Managed Detection Response. Often it's used by managed service providers, so the M is for the managed service at the end. And it's most often also focused on single sources, so a managed EDR solution, a managed NDR solution. Sometimes it's a combination of two tools or probably three, but that's then mostly what is in these solutions. Then there is the evolution of MDR. There is MXDR. This brings this extended detection response, which should increase the coverage. So, for example, we have a MXDR service which covers the whole Defender XDR stack, but can then also be expanded by a SIEM system, so that we can also add third-party sources. Something what I also often hear is from customers, yeah, I want to have a SOC. So a SOC for me is important, is an organizational unit at the end. It's a department which can provide different services.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So now we heard about a lot of different standalone solutions. and the SOC. So maybe you can give us a little bit more an insight about the whole SOC solution.
Yes. As I said, SOC is an organization and it provides multiple service. It provides security operation service. This could be totally different service at the end. It's not just doing incident handling. And often I see customers who are just referring to a SOC for incident handling. And I think it's important that the SOC provides also other areas. It's important that they should cover left of bank, so pre-breach. They should help to increase the protection, the posture of a company, but then also help on the right of bank side where something has happened. How can it be detected? How can it be analyzed? And how can we respond? Here, just as an example on the baseVISION service, we have the MXDR service, which is doing the classical incident handling, 24/7, first response, and also creating reports of incidents. And then there are other disciplines which are required. There is, for example, cyber threat intel, which provides additional TI feeds, or hunting, or cyber threat intel, dark web monitoring, brand protection, supply chain monitoring. That helps the customers also to get an outside view of their infrastructure, of their whole risk landscape at the end. Then another discipline is really the classical incident response. If you have a big incident, you need to have someone who is capable to do incident management. And that's exactly what an incident response team can provide. Also, forensic is from time to time required if you have specific attacks. Another part what a security operation center can provide to you is awareness campaigns. So it's also important to train your employees. We have for that the phishing prevention campaign service, which can do attack simulations based on Teams, or also email to train your users. And as I mentioned at the beginning, it's important that we also focus on the posture management. So increasing the protection mechanisms that we don't even have a successful attack. So, for example, there it's the classical vulnerability management, but also external attack surface management, which helps to get better protected for the future.
Thank you, Thomas, for this very helpful explanations and insights. So what about if a customer wants to know about more our SOC or SOC service? Is there any possibility to get more insights?
Yes, we have, for example, SOC talks where you can register. There you can talk about your requirements. You can discuss how we could support you on your security journey. We even have SOC tours where you can visit our SOC. So we are happy to help you on your security journey.